The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll...
That this is massive negligence to the point of me speculating on what was intentional and what wasn't.
It's either the grossest, most extreme kind of incompetence and negligence from the Secret Service that we've ever seen.
Insane story, given the fact that the threat level to President Trump is so much higher, obviously and clearly, than the threat level to, say, Jill Biden.
Number 14, Cody Johnson. Country star Cody Johnson fires up the Chicago crowd with a passionate speech after the yellow wig dude's rally-popping scare.
There was an attempted assassination on former President Trump. Would think that what they did today would solve a problem in this country is absolutely disgusting. I'm tired of people talking about Trump and Biden. Let me tell you something. There's people in this crowd that agree with Trump. That right was fought with sacrifice. Sacrifice from a dead police officer. You listening to me? They are red, white, and blue. USA! 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 USA!
Number 13, Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin calls Trump's life attempt a staged stunt for a guaranteed win.
Former President Donald Trump, soon to be new president of the United States of America. This is guaranteed he's gonna win. I mean, it was beautifully staged. I don't know, it was just too perfect. He's his turn, and the whole world's a stage, so, you just never know. Two people are conveniently dead with no names. My condolences going out to the family members of those deceased, if they are deceased.
Number 12, Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales, too, has completely lost it, claiming the Trump popping was all a staged act.
Would not respond by raising his fist in the air triumphantly were an actual attempt made on his life. That was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Medea Runs for President. It's called blood pellets. They even, people use them in Halloween. It's basically a pellet of fake blood that's in your mouth, I believe done to try to show his strength.
Number 11, Jason Miller. Jason Miller, too, shared his thoughts, revealing how he envisions the yellow wig dude miraculously dodged the bullet with his name.
That President Trump turned his head just that slight amount at the right moment to avoid the bullet. Well, of course, there'll be security adjustments that are made by the Secret Service in conjunction with the campaign. Obviously, on national television, over 50,000 people who are in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday is a massive amount. This is much more than even one person is even alive right now. In many ways, he's not even supposed to be here. If he hadn't turned his head just slightly, this is a time when the country needs to come together, but then immediately pivoted to whataboutism. Right. And try to...
Number 10, President Biden. President Biden made it a point to address the nation following the shocking incident.
I've tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering. And we had a short but good conversation. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risk their lives. We are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information, and I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. Attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence. Listen to those with whom we agree, where misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division.
Number 9, Cory Mills. Next, we have an ex-Army sniper, Rep. Cory Mills, who is sharing his thoughts on the attempt to put down the former president.
This is a shot that your basic training boot camp soldier is requested to make within their 9-week period. As a sniper, when you would set up, you'd put together your range sketch or your range fan cards, and that would tell you where your 100, your 200, that this is massive negligence to the point of me speculating on what was intentional and what wasn't. Where the president was sitting, and you're talking about a pop shot, and you got people yelling, and there should have been comms. The president and took him off, and then responded to the counter sniper. The shot should not have gone off. That is the failure in itself.
Number 8, Pat Nolan. Political analysts are also not one to hold back, as Pat Nolan says this crazy event brings back chilling memories of the Robert Kennedy and MLK tragedies.
You begin to get worried when you see how polarized things are that somebody will decide to take action. Let's hope nobody else decides to do that. That there's not some reason that President Trump's numbers will go up to some degree. I suspect President Trump will be back out on the campaign trail, and that will, if you think his supporters that show up at his rallies are ardent.
Remind him of the assassinations of Robert Kennedy and MLK, and likened this attempt to that of FDR. Expects Secret Service to do a deep dive into what went wrong here, with safety measures ramping up.
Number 7, Kiny Scoffield. Kiny Scoffield too keenly shares of her heart-wrenching thoughts.
For years, the media in the United States lied to us about his condition, but CNN is calling this an incident with former President Donald Trump. Call on President Biden to assassinate Trump. She said, this is war. She said to Biden, Democrats, and it does feel like people that lean to the left have encouraged this violent, nasty behavior. Is right versus wrong. You know, where is our moral compass as a country? Where has it gone?
Number 6, Ben Shapiro. Next, we have the infamous Ben Shapiro weighing in on the attempted slaying, Trump's heroic reaction, and criticizes the Secret Service for their failure.
Continue to swirl. How exactly did the Secret Service miss the shooter in the first place that did not have Secret Service on top of it, well within the range of a normal AR-15? Video has now emerged showing that the shooter had plenty of time to get ready. People saw him climbing on the roof of the building. Area that is controlled by Secret Service, and then slightly outside of that perimeter, there's another area where they coordinate with local law enforcement. A local law enforcement officer climbed to the roof and found crooks who pointed the rifle at the officer. The officer retreated down the ladder. The gunman quickly fired toward Trump. Insane story, given the fact that the threat level to President Trump is so much higher, obviously and clearly, than the threat level to, say, Jill Biden, say, the last election. That'll be the end of America, that you and your friends are going to end up in actual jail. You're not joking. He has a 100% chance of winning the Electoral College, according to Nate Silver, the poll analyst.
Number 5, Seth. Seth also decided to take a closer look at the attempt on the yellow wig dude's life in his latest segment.
Political violence must be rejected in all its forms. It is both morally wrong and a poison to democracy. Horrific events at a Trump rally on Saturday, it's clear that we must recommit ourselves to that endeavor. An attack that thankfully spared him, but tragically killed one spectator and injured 2 others. They have nothing to do with political violence. Speaking plainly about the specter of authoritarianism is not only our democratic right.
Number 4, John Kennedy. In a social media video, Senator John Kennedy also reacted to the seriousness of the incident at play.
Why? That's what most Americans are asking themselves today. Describe how horrible the attempt on President Trump's life was. Look, America hasn't been happy for a while, and this crosses all political spectrums. We know that their domination it creates a world that's not safe. At our government officials about how could they have allowed this to happen.
Number 3, Dave Ramsey. And how could we ever forget Dave Ramsey? He shared his thoughts on the incident in a candid video.
We're people of the book, and the book tells us to pray for our leaders, even if we don't agree with them. And Trump is one of our leaders. Some of you people are really too serious about what happens in the White House. And I've seen presidents that were going to be the second coming of Jesus, and they were not even close. And you should not spend your money on Financial Peace University. You should spend it on counseling because you need it. We have loud, arguing, fun discussions about things, but we don't wish death on people.
Oh, gosh, no.
You know,
no.
I mean, when you have to vilify or destroy a person because you disagree with their idea, you've already lost the argument.
Number 2, Donald Trump himself. And for the most interesting of all, hear the yellow wig dude himself talk to a friend after surviving the cowardly attempt on his life.
You know how he talks. There's a little problem in my ear and his right ear. Other than that, he said you probably heard about it. Nobody really knows how you're going to react with something like that. And he said to just carry on with what he's trying to do. And, for lack of a better, he wanted to stress that he heard from, I guess, Democrats and people he wasn't expecting to hear from. I don't know how I would react. I like to think I'd, cover my kids, cover my wife, try to get in the way. We were shook. We were shook. My wife was literally hysterical and was still trying to it was important for him to raise his fist and say, fight, fight. And what was he actually talking about?
Number 1, Matt Walsh. Lastly, we have Matt Walsh discussing why this incident was inevitable in his latest commentary.
1 inch. That's about the distance between the top of your ear and your brain, and that's how close America came to, we don't know, is it a civil war, all-out chaos, burning cities, and the complete destruction of our political system? The end of history, it's been called. But history has not ended. It marches on and drags us with it. Nolan was able to shoot Trump and 3 of his supporters, killing one of them and seriously injuring 2 others, before the Secret Service managed to take him out. That's not true. The Secret Service and local authorities were aware of the gunman long before he climbed on the roof. So already we can say definitively that if the Secret Service did their job, that would have been the end of it, including at least 2 Secret Service snipers that were looking in the direction of this very rooftop, did not take any action. Dozens of people in the crowd saw it coming and spent minutes pointing out the assassin to law enforcement. That makes this easily the single most preventable assassination attempt in the history of this country. Now, it's not clear why the officer didn't alert Secret Service or why he didn't engage the shooter immediately, which is what he should have done. It's either the grossest, most extreme kind of incompetence and negligence from the Secret Service that we've ever seen. So what that means is that at this point, every conspiracy theory, quote unquote, is on the table.
That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.